Hi, I might be talking to you. So, my name is Desana Watson. I am a visual artist and art educator. And if you're new to my page, then that's the introduction. So, I just want to have a quick word with you. Did you know that relying on your talent could be what is limiting you? I know, right? I know, right? Like all this time you've been told like you're so talented, like oh my gosh, you're so talented. But do you know one of the things I noticed just I'm just talking about my own self. One of the things I noticed is that sometimes we can become so dependent on our talent as creatives that we literally create a mental barrier to new information and to new techniques just in general. And so the thought of learning something new and starting from scratch with something where we're going to have to be at the beginning stage and fail at it scares the crap out of us. And so we just be like, that's just not for me, that's just not my thing. And it's really not a matter of you just not liking it or you haven't tried it and it's just not your thing. It's just a matter that you never tried and you have no interest of trying, because behind that is a fear that I'm not going to be good at it. On all this time, I've gotten by just being talented. I've gotten by just going on stage and just doing something. I've gotten by just going in front of the camera and just being a natural speaker. I've gotten by just taking up the canvas or taking up the drawing book and just drawing something and it looks excellent, right? But wouldn't it be great if your talent was paired with the knowledge of what you do, like actually know what you do and actually know why you do it and actually know the steps that your brain takes to get that thing done? Wouldn't it be good if you actually allowed yourself to overcome this fear of not being talented and just being a regular person, making the decision to learn something new and actually do it? Like, what if you had more than your talent? What if you had knowledge? I mean, I'm not throwing any curveballs at anybody, or maybe I am. But what if you're more than talented? What if the next dimensions of your creative self was behind your fear of of doing things that you're not perfect at? No, let me give you a good example. Prior to 2020, you would have never seen me on camera. You have never seen me on screen having this conversation with you. I was terrified. In person, you could have asked me to speak, and I'm very good at giving my opinion. I will I will argue a point even if it's not my own. I can argue a point even if I don't believe it, but I can express it to you clearly, right? But you have never seen me on camera. And I was like, that's just not for me. That's just not my thing. I'll just stay in the background. But in 2020, when I started my journey to overcome my fears, I was like, what if you actually gave yourself a chance to do this? Like, what if you tried this thing? And what if you embarked on a process to learn something new that could add to who you are? You're naturally good at speaking, but you're terrified of camera. You're terrified of how you would look, how you would sound, and if you'd be receptive on camera. And so I think it was 2020 or 2021, one of them. I came on Instagram and I went live. Let me tell you something. I looked so natural on screen, but I was shaking. The whole day I was terrified. Half the things I wanted to say on the live, I didn't say it because when that button pressed and it went live, I was scared to my bones. When the live ended, I was trembling, I was shaking. I rewatched that live so much. I saw all the flaws, I saw all the mistakes, I saw all the points, you know, when I should have said something and I didn't say it. I heard all the grammatical errors. I killed myself, like literally. I ravaged through that video and I critiqued it heavily. But what that did for me is I said, okay, that's just step one. And I took hours, like every single day I'm watching at least one video on public speaking, or I'm reading content on what makes a good speaker, or things that people who are constantly in front of camera need to do. I'm not going to say that I'm the best, but if you see that first video in comparison to me speaking to you now, it's a great improvement. And I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be a journalist. I don't need to be the best person on Instagram having conversations. I don't need to be the best YouTuber. I don't need to be any of that. But what I've done is I've challenged myself to learn something new and to become better at something. Now, have I unearthed a whole new dimension of my creative self? Yes. I've always been an educator, but the idea of coming on screen and sharing my heart and my process with people was never ever something I thought that I would be doing. I never thought that I would be somebody on Instagram sharing, but here I am today. But that is because I overcame the thing that I was talented at, and I forced myself to do something that was not natural to me, and here I am today. Now, my charge to you is, what are some of those things that you could be tapping into if you just overcame the fear of failing at it at first? If you overcame the fear of not being excellent at it, if you overcame the fear of people saying, oh my gosh, that's so bad, thought you were talented, how do you not know? Like, if you really overcame that fear, what are some of the millions of things you could be doing, Mike? You are sleeping on yourself. So that's just my thought. But hey guys, remember, Free From Fear, the book is out. You can find the book in the link in my bio to purchase the book. Yeah.